Let's have some fun with them.
So what's going on YouTube? Shooting another video here. Real quick, doing an RC Real Talk. Haven't done one for a while. Figured I'd offend some people. Because that's what we usually end up doing on RC Real Talk. Got the boom sitting.
Boom, bitch! Bang!
Down here, still haven't finished it. I've got to get the motor in it, the hexes and the wheels and tires, and it's pretty much ready to go back. I'll be getting that done this weekend. It'll actually probably be finished late tonight when I get home from work. This is Friday. So I was perusing the old facial Buffoonery, and not a huge facial Buffoonery guy, but I do peruse some stuff to get a good chuckle from all the stupidity. Better get this out of here. I'm not sponsored by anybody. And these videos usually take a hit anyways. So, thank you, Jerry. I got Jerry here on the front of the note-taking tablet. When I come up with ideas, I scribble down here. So anyways, I was kind of perusing through. I'm in some of the groups. I'm just going to put out there the two postings of this because I'm going to include the screenshot, not of the one group or any of the people, because I mean you can't be putting names and stuff out there. But I am going to read off the stupidity that I've seen. So one of the names of one of the groups is I'll just put out there, it is the Enjora group that I follow there on Facebook. And oh, holy crap, turd sandwiches. A guy had a posting on there about a motor. And I see this kind of posting on the Enjora groups from time to time. Just in general. And that group, man, there are some of the most pissiest people in the world. Wow. Blows my mind of the stupidity that ensues on that Enjora group. First off, I don't understand why people join those groups. If you hate Enjora, why join their group? Some people say it's trolling, blah, blah, blah. I think it's just douchebaggery. That's what I call it. Because you're just being a D-bag on most of those comments that you read on there. So get into the first one. We'll get the Enjora out of the way. And I'm going to have shout-outs down here later in this video because I picked up new subscribers. My new subs, I'm sorry if this ain't your cup of tea. You can shy away from the RC Real Talks and the fireside chats because we just talk about real RC shit and what goes on in the community and the stupidity that ensues. That's how I do it here at the RC Dungeon. So, at RC Dungeon, not the RC Dungeon. So, the Enjora. I had to take notes because I used my camera for filming. I had some screenshots and stuff on there, which I have since deleted. So, the Enjora, this guy had a motor, and I think it was in a 24 scale, because, they really pretty much just, the 24 scale is kind of their jam. And the guy posted on there about, he barely touched like this wire on the, and it was a brush motor and the solder wasn't very good and it fell off. And I'm guessing he was probably roughhousing it a lot harder than he probably, basically alluded to. But the comments that were on there, the posting, which I understand he threw a dig out at Enjora on there for it breaking. My thing is why wouldn't somebody just contact customer service? I've contacted Enjora's customer service. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I don't get anything from them. So this is just, you can take it as what it is. I've never had a problem with Enjora's customer service. I've had to contact them, I think, twice. I've never had an issue with them. Sometimes, they're pretty busy. They sell a lot of products, especially to the 24th guys. I think people get a little antsy and they're pantsy about, it takes a little bit of time to get back with them. Yeah, it probably does. You got a lot of products going out. You're probably going to have the way people cry and whine. I mean, it's pretty easy to see that people are pretty well easily butthurt, with stupid, simple product stuff. When you start going through those groups and seeing the postings of the idiocracy of people posting on there, whether it be that they're new to the hobby or not, or just people being just douchebags, and think that, they mean more than what they should mean. Sorry, but that's just the truth. So you got to take into account that they're probably getting hundreds of, who knows, calls, messages. So probably takes a while to filter through everything. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for that. And that goes for any company. So, user issue was the first on there, which, yeah, I can kind of agree with that comment. Probably was roughhousing a little more than he alluded it to, but maybe it was, it's possible the soldery wasn't that good on it. He had pictures of it on there, and it did kind of look like, the heat shrink wasn't that good on it. They kind of missed the solder point a little bit with the heat shrink. So instead of fixing it, you get on here and cried and complained. I could understand, like, say somebody that was newer into the hobby. You bought that, you're putting it in there, failure like that, even if it is a cheap brushed motor, still, you know what I mean? You wouldn't want to go to, same thing as buying anything. No matter the amount of money you spend on it, you're not going to want to go down here to the, local, part store and buy a tool and take it home and the socket splits on you the first 30 seconds of use. That's just, I kind of understand how he kind of would, but yeah, he should have contacted customer service at least first and seen what they were going to do about it before getting on there. Because he was kind of putting Injora on blast. This one is soldering should be a skill. Well, you just said it. Soldering should be a skill. So you expect a dude that's probably never soldered in his life, possibly, doesn't know anything about soldering, doesn't have soldering equipment, just run down to Walmart and pick up a cheap soldering gun, which you can, and expect him just to solder it like that. Well, you just said it in your own comment, and the stupidity, soldering is a skill. No shit. Most people aren't just going to be like an attack on, the brand new motor that they paid for, be like, oh man, I got this. Some people would, some people wouldn't. Some people probably would get it right, maybe, after fooling around with it for a little while, but not everybody is, built that way. So, soldering, it is a skill. You answered your own question. Most people just aren't going to pick up a soldering iron and think about soldering on a brand new motor. That's just me. The common sense kind of has to kick in every once in a while, people. Why even run a brush motor? Throw it in the trash. I love that. Like, everybody has to have brushless now. That comment really cracked me up. I read that, it's a wide brush motor anyways. Throw it in the trash and just buy a brushless. Yeah, maybe he doesn't really know a lot about brush. I love the comments, things on the internet people say. That's what I should label this. The stupidity of things people say on the RC groups on Facebook is just, it's astronomical. I'm sorry if people take offense to this. I'm just telling the truth, and the truth hurts. When my shit breaks, I buy a new rig. Well,
Dumbass! You dumbass! You're a dumbass! Such a dumbass! You're an ass!
There's a guy that has more money than he does brains. Tell me you don't want to learn anything without telling me you don't want to learn anything. I buy a new rig when my shit breaks. Wow. That's some help there in the comment section from that poster. I buy a new rig when my shit breaks. That was literally how it was posted too. I'm not embellishing any of these. As a matter of fact, I've cut them short. The one guy that went on about the skill, he had a great big huge thing, and I'm like, there was one guy that had a great big long posting in that one where he was talking about, he kind of explained the soldering and all that, which I agreed with him 100%. You know what I mean? That is one thing that, like, if you're in the hobby, and you don't want to blow tons and tons of money, you're going to have to learn. you know, to do these things. Solder, you know, you're just going to have to learn different skills in general in the RC hobby. That's just how it works. So, you know, if not, you're going to be spending a lot of money, or, you know, really having somebody in your pocket that can really, you know, do a whole lot of different things. So you just got to keep that in mind. You know, unless you got a buddy that's really good at all this stuff, that'll do it for you. So, on to the next, and I'm going to put a screenshot in between of the new Blazer bodies. I talked about them on the unboxing video. RC four-wheel drive come out. I think it's like two bodies. There's like a silver and gray. There's like a two-tone. They're new two-tone bodies. RC four-wheel drive come out with for the Blazers. You know, they're you know, professional, hand painted supposedly. I mean, I don't know if they are or not. Once again, I don't, you know, I'm not sponsored here by RC four-wheel drive. I don't get anything from them. I love RC four-wheel drive products. There's a lot of crybaby, baby back bitches out there in the hobby that cry you know, and whine about everything about them. You know, if you take offense to that, then you're probably one of them. The guys were complaining about, you know, just basically the paint wasn't right on it, which, I mean, no, it wasn't exactly period correct paint, but everybody gets so bent out of shape, man. That's why I say everybody is spoiled in this hobby, because it's like they want everything perfect from the box, and it's just not how anything works. I mean, it doesn't matter the manufacturer. Guys are, I'll just go through some of the comments, and like I said, I'll put in between, I'll put like the, you know, the screenshot of the picture of the Blazer bodies. I mean, they look pretty good to me, and you could do, the two-tone is off on them, and it's not right for the year, but, you know, the big deal that everybody makes about that stuff is just ridiculous to me, man. They're just giant, wah, wah, wah. I mean, here's a pacifier. Scale guys are the absolute worst, and I know I got scale guys that watch this channel. I'm a scale guy, but my gosh, man, sometimes scale guys can just be absolute, just oh my heavens, man, buy a ring pop and suck on it or something. Not everything's gonna be perfect, and you're gonna love everything right from the get-go. Fix it if you're so good at everything. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. That's the best advice I can give you. Well, fix the damn thing so it's perfect how you want it. It just blows my mind. So anyways, the RC four-wheel drive Blazer body, the first, they post it on there. I gotta get so the first comment on the RC four-wheel drive posting, they dropped the ball with this one. That's the very first comment. They dropped the ball with this one. Next one, the two-tone's way off. Oh, man. Paint's not accurate. The paint's not accurate. There was like 5. Paint's not accurate. Paint's not accurate. Oh, my gosh. And then this one wasn't surprisingly. There's no lights included. I'm out. So first off, this body is kind of expensive. You know, I think it's like around $185, what I researched. You know, comes with the body, it's pre-painted, you know, it's got nice paint on it. It's going to come with your detail stuff, so it's going to come with all your badging. It's going to come with, you know, it's going to come with everything. So, is it too expensive? I mean, you got guys dropping, what is it, 120? For a Lexan body? Ugh. No offense to Lexan, and the TRX4 bodies are nice. They're still Lexan. There's no, I mean, you can make a nice scale build out of a Lexan body. I'm not saying that. But you can't compare the scale of a hard body with an opening hood and an opening tailgate and a removable topper. You just cannot compare that to a Lexan body. I'm sorry. And I like Lexan too. But you can't compare the scaleness of no matter how freaking detailed that Lexan body is. You can cut them up and you can make it, but you still just it's Lexan. It's not a hard body rig. It's not got the scale aspect of a hard body. So you're gonna pay $120 for like I think the Traxxas Bronco and Blazer. RC four-wheel drive unfortunately don't have a Ford. We'll go into that in a minute. But they got the Blazers. I will say I think Traxxas did better with the mirrors and the tail lights and the door handles on their Blazer body. I usually buy their stuff and swap it over onto my RC four-wheel drive Chevys because they did a better job on that stuff. They did. I don't cry about it. I don't care. It cost me like $16 to switch all that stuff over. So I'm not crying about it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me. I see guys whang about it all the time. The taillights on the RC four-wheel drive Blazer. Woo! That one guy makes 3D printed, like I guess supposedly like a perfect rendition. I don't know. He's got a YouTube channel. I used to watch him. I don't watch it much anymore. Got to the point where I was just like, all these guys are just wow, it's not perfect on the box. And I just kind of quit. So yeah, I mean, I can live with the RC four-wheel drive taillights. It isn't that big deal to me. It isn't that big a deal to me that the Mojave body has the 2 screws in it that everybody makes a big deal about. Everybody's just so picky, man. They're just spoiled. So anyways, back into it. That's you just can't compare. And you're talking, $40-$50 more probably with shipping to get the really nice hard body, scale hard body with opening door or opening hood, not opening doors, opening hood, opening tailgate, movable topper, full interior. The the Traxxas body don't come with any interior in it. It doesn't come with an opening hood. Doesn't come with a light kit either, as far as I know. The one that my buddy just bought for his to replace his tore up Bronco body, it didn't come with a light kit. You're still dropping $120 on it. I know for a fact they're over $100. Last time I looked at them, I'm pretty sure it was going to cost me like over $120 for one of the TRX4 Bronco bodies. So for guys to be complaining about, or it doesn't come with a light kit. Well, none of them usually do. It just blew me away. And I think RC four-wheel drive sells a light kit for like $15, $16 for that body. I don't know. I always buy PowerShift RC light kits because those older 70s and 80s vehicles had the dim looking, halogen type lights in it. And PowerShift RC has always been perfect for that. And they're cheap and affordable. So I always buy PowerShift RC. Not sponsored by them. I don't know. I'm not giving them. I'm just saying. If people watch this and they buy PowerShift RC, man, that's what I'd recommend you buy. My stuff's held up in the water. I've not had any of my PowerShift stuff quit working. They're a great product, and he can custom build you stuff whatever you want if you contact him, and he's pretty fast. I just recommend PowerShift RC. He's priced very well compared to some of the others out there. Some of the other stuff out there is just way overpriced, in my opinion, with what they're selling you. So, yeah, that was the comment. I just love that. And then this other guy, he has a laugh out loud. So laugh instead of, no, wait a minute. I was reading the wrong one. So the next one was another paint's not accurate. After the light's not included. Another one, the paint isn't correct. I'm like, oh my gosh, these dudes are having literally brain aneurysms over the paint not being exactly perfect. And like I said, you'll see in the picture when I included in here that it isn't exactly perfect. No, it's not spot on. Another guy was on there making fun because, China company, of course, you have these assholes that are, where do you expect the Chinese company to get a Chevy Blazer accurate? The RC four-wheel drive and the Traxxas Blazer body and everybody else that probably makes a Blazer body, they all come from China. As far as I know, I don't think Traxxas does any kind of custom two-tone. I don't know. I think they do the orange and white Blazer body. I think maybe. I can't remember how their paint schemes are. I had their black Blazer. It looked really good, for a Lexan. But once again, it just didn't have all that, scale detail in it. So, I don't know, I've had them. I know which one looked better. So, and then another guy, they dropped the ball with the paint scheme on those. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these guys are like, they should be wearing like a monocle and like, I'm a square body enthusiast. I'm a square body. I'm like a Merlin of square bodies. I'm like a genius. Oh my God, these guys. Like, I mean, we're not talking about, it's a Chevy Blazer. It's not like we're talking about a 69 Fastback 428 Cobra Jet Mustang or a Carroll Shelby Cobra or something like that. It's a freaking square body pickup, guys. Jeez whiz, man. It just cracks me up. Now, I know people are going to flame on me for this, but I don't care. Suck it.
Suck it. Suck it. Suck it.
So, yeah, here's another one. There was more. Paint. It's all paint. Paint. I mean, there was literally like freaking 15, 16 comments in there. Of course, you had me. I commented in there. I'm surprised I didn't get any more flamed on comments on that posting. Or I'm surprised RC Fool Drive didn't remove it. I just get so sick and tired of seeing people get in them Facebook posts, and hey, at least they offered us some different renditions of the Blazer body, and it's been out forever. I mean, if I was going to pick one, I'd still probably pick the yellow and white one, just because my buddy's dad had a yellow and white one, and the RC four-wheel drive yellow and white, so it was perfectly spot on to his yellow and white Blazer. That's why I would pick it, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Same way the guys always complain about the slant in the front end on the Blazer, blah, 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 cry. They just, everybody, this is just ridiculous. It's an RC truck. Why can't everybody just enjoy it and be happy? Everybody's got a bitch. So, yeah, that's what our topic was of today for this video. Before we get much longer, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the shout outs. Before we get into that, just, try to be a decent hobby enthusiast, if you don't like something, you don't like something, go a different way. You don't have to like get on these groups and just blast away like a douchebag. It's kind of sad, really, where the hobbies kind of went in the direction of all that shit, especially because of Facebook. You have all these guys that thinks they're gurus and all this shit, and it's just it's shit. It's shitty. It's just that's why I don't partake in groupie stuff that much, because you got like the buddy system in those groups, and they all pat each other on the back and stroke each other off and all that stuff, and you got guys that post cool shit in there and everything. First thing you got a bunch of people attacking them, and you should have done this, should have done that. I don't like this. Well, they didn't build it for you, so shut the fuck up. That's just how and I have a bad habit. I'll tell people that, so I don't get in those groups. STFU, I don't care. It's just stupid to me. The whole group thing seemed kind of just stupid to me. I've tried to do, I stay primarily in our little 304 RC group. I don't even post in there that much. I try to keep it going because I'm one of the admins in there. But yeah, my gosh, the group stuff, man. You just got certain dudes that are just on there, just egos. That's all it is, egos. It just cracks me up, man, when you try to marry the dudes. Anyway, so let's get into our shout outs for the day. So shout outs, and then I've got a bunch of new subscribers. Hopefully my new subs know that this is what I do on the channel. I just, RC Real Talk, baby. We keep it real. So shout outs here from the get-go. I think this is some new ones. RDMRC, all caps. And he did some comments and stuff like that on the channel. Woods Unknown. He's always watching and dropping comments. Of course, a big thank you to Jerry's old guy reviews. Sent me over that Blazer. That video is up here on the channel. I got some stuff I got to get sent out to you. 3D Man, I just sent the package out to you. If you watched this video, it went out a little bit ago. I didn't get a response from you. I sent you the tracking number just to let you know it is on there. So I did mail your stuff out to you, brother. Rughead RC, I think you're a new one. I seen you drop the comment in one of the videos. So Rughead RC, there's a shout out for you, dude. I need to look and see. Maybe he might have a YouTube channel too. I don't know. Allen's 4221. He dropped some. He's a new one. I've seen him dropping comments. Aaron Baird 9444. He's a new one dropping comments. Scale Works. See you drop some comments too. Terry Pittman 8188. Thank you, brother, for dropping those comments in this video. This is one of my. I love this one. Meat Sleeve, man. That's an awesome name. I almost feel like back in the days playing Xbox 360 online. Meat Sleeve. Ryan and 4786. Rick RC Crawler. Leon Cottrell 3254. Honda Fork. I almost got your boom. It'll be done this weekend, bro. Of course, Mind's Eye. Scorpion Man 67. Check him out too. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got some cool stuff on there. I watch his stuff. Fozzie Foster 7305. I am working on your Michigan question. I took a look at mine briefly. I'm still waiting for the parts to come in for that. I've got some parts coming. For the front end of that truck, I broke down and I ordered some knuckles and hubs and stuff for it because I found the parts super dirt cheap on AliExpress, and I'm kind of worried because it said once product sells out, it won't be available anymore, and I'm starting to kind of see on some of the other pages and stuff about stuff being discontinued for that Michigan. I'm hoping that FMS don't discontinue the parts. So I really like that truck. I wish mine was still linked. I like the leaf spring version of it, but I wish if I may eventually pick up another one and it linked. I wish FMS would focus on fixing the drive shaft issues, the input shaft between transmission, transfer case, and the body mounting system on that Michigan. If they would address that and just put aluminum knuckles and hubs on them from the factory, they would have a really, really nice solid platform truck. Other than minus changing your electronics, but I wish they would have mounted the body more like they did the Willys on the Michigan. It would have made things life a lot easier for people with the Michigan, because that's one of my main complaints about it is the body mounting on it. But it is what it is. So I am working on that, dude. I will when I get that truck to put in my buddy Sir Chirps a lot. He sent me over them shock towers. So I can mount shocks onto the front of it. I'm going to try to do something that looks scale, but still has a little, does what I want to kind of limit, so the leaves don't have doing all the work. I want a little shock that'll give me a little bit of pushback on the leaves to kind of give it a little more so the leaves aren't getting bent up and stuff on it. And then I'll have to come up with something in the back. But he sent me over some real nice front shock towers for it. The digital, I think I wrote that down. Then digital. Thanks, bro. I owe you some thanks on dropping some of those comments on there. My brother Chris Snyder, he dropped some comments. I think there was some other people maybe, and I picked up a good bit of new subs. So if this ain't your thing, you don't have to unsubscribe. You can just not watch the RC Real Talk videos. I have people that watch these that ask me about the RC Real Talks and our fireside chats. I wanted to do this because it was more of a in your face. I try to keep the RC Real Talk stuff as kind of an in your face type thing because I just don't care. I just tell people how it is. You don't like it, you don't like it. If you don't want to watch, don't watch. I'm gonna, that's just how it is. A lot of these actually get kind of hammered from YouTube sometimes, so I'm sure I'll probably have trouble with this one too because I just don't care. Just being honest, putting it out there. Try to be a better, decent human being. If you watch this and you're one of those douchebags that get on Facebook and do that crap, try to be at least a decent human being. Hopefully, that's what we get out of this whole doing these videos. So that's all we got here for our RC Real Talk here at RC Dungeon. Yeah, I just wanted to toss that out there. Try to be a better human. So, yeah. Thanks again to Jerry's Old Guy Review for you know, sending that blazer over there. Hopefully, you got Let It Fry Fridays coming. I don't know when I'll get this video. That is this Friday. This video might not go up. I don't know. I got to edit it and all that good stuff. Put some funny stuff in there so we have a good time. So, yeah. Our weather's been terrible here. I haven't been able to get out and do any trailing. Sucks. It's been like thunderstorms, downpours, flooding, tornadoes, just basic, you know, destruction all the way around. So, I think this weekend's supposed to be the same way. I've got tons of tire testing I need to get on for the channel. For those guys interested, like I have like a mountain of Enduro tires over here in S5 compound to do testing on the course with. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get down to doing it because the weather has just been absolutely phenomenally terrible. Hoping pretty soon. I don't know what else to say about that. It sucks. The weather absolutely sucks here. I was hoping to get out this weekend and do some, you know, scaling because I'd like to actually get my rust bucket blazer out. Jerry's lit a fire under me with this new blazer, and I wanted to get the rust bucket blazer out and take it out and run it, but I just, you know, I'm not going out in the pouring down rain. And everything's flooding out here, and it's just terrible mud everywhere, so, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get to most of the locations I go to anyhow because they're by water and everything's underwater. So, sucks, man. I'm going to be wrenching a lot this weekend probably. To get this boom done, it won't take me very long. And I think we're going to start working on the HG truck. So, hopefully have some updates coming for it pretty soon as well. I don't know. It's been stalled out because I've had so much other stuff. I actually got some stuff coming for the Jerry's Blazer, so... I'm going to be having a huge scale mail unboxing. Well, huge scale mail, you know, look at some parts and some stuff that came in. I'm still waiting on two units that I was planning on doing. I wasn't going to do unboxings. We were going to do a first look and first impressions video on those two. You know, it's taken forever for shipping. I'm hoping I didn't get screwed on the one. It might be the first time that AliExpress has gotten me. I don't know. They won't get me because it's through PayPal. I'll get a refund. So, but you know, I'm having some issues with tracking one of the RCs I did buy. The other one has finally made it here into the United States. It's just slow, so I'm not worried about it. But I'll have it coming to the channel. It will be coming pretty soon. We'll be doing a not an unboxing. We'll be doing a first look at it instead. I'm trying to get away the unboxing stuff. I did that because that was, you know, Jerry sent me all that stuff over. So you know, we'll do a first look at it, and it's something I've had on the channel before, but they've improved it, and I will take a look at it together here on RC Dungeon because they've came out with a version 2 of it, and I'm kind of excited because I actually really like that truck. For what it cost, it's phenomenally great truck for what you pay for it. Especially with a little bit of upgrades, and you still got less in it buying, you know, the counterpart to what, you know, what it's cloned after, well, supposedly cloned. But anyways, yeah, that's what we got here from the RC Dungeon people. So we're going to wrap it up. That's what we got coming. Hopefully everybody's happy, healthy, and doing well. But yeah, from the RC Dungeon, peace.